was thinking about the word blessing and feeling blessed, and I think I know what being blessed means, because I want to know if anyone in the room has had cancer or breast cancer. Anyone here?
Not breast.
Not breast? Melanoma's bad too, it's all bad. And who in here has had children? Okay. I found that having breast cancer and having children was very parallel. I breastfed my children, but I think whether you breastfed your children or not, there's an experience that happens when your milk comes into your breast that's unlike anything that ever happened to me before, and I'm not really sure I can explain it to anyone that hasn't experienced it. But if you've experienced it, it's sort of this painful dropping of weight into your breast, and then it comes out the nipples. I did not have any discharge with my breast cancer, but in about April or May of this year, I kind of had this, ooh, that's kind of how it felt. I kind of like, ooh, it kind of felt like my milk coming down. And it was very reminiscent. It was like, ooh, I recognize this, but my breast hasn't dropped any milk in 25 years. So it was like, ooh, that's kind of weird. I kind of noticed it. It was like that kind of hurt so good. Only that's how it was. So I thought that's strange. And I guess about 10 days later, maybe 2 months later, because time's become totally different to me now than it was pre-breast cancer, it happened again. Same breast, that same kind of intense milk coming in, kind of, oh, like very weird, because it's such a unique experience. I recognized it immediately, but my children were 25 years old. So I've not had a mammogram in years. The reason I scheduled a mammogram is because I had this strange activity in my right breast. I had the mammogram on June the 8th. I had a mastectomy, a double mastectomy, on July the 8th, and I was announced cancer-free on August the 8th.
Oh, wow.
And that is a blessing. A blessing is when something happens to you that you don't deserve any more than anyone else. So there are many women who have died from breast cancer. There are many women who have suffered and had cancer for years before they died of breast cancer, and I had a summer of breast cancer. Now, what do I want you to know? Because I found out that they wanted to do stuff. You have cancer, you have breast cancer, we're going to do stuff. What do you want to do? What can I do? Well, they divide your breast into quadrants, this way and this way. Both of my tumors were in this right quadrant. I had 2 of them. And I'm like, I want lumpectomy. Lumpectomy, keeping my titties. I mean, my titties, if you don't know me, favorite part of my body. I've loved, I've had the best titties of all parts of me. It is my favorite. I was famous for removing my shirt to show people my titties. I'm on Girls Gone Wild video long before he started, okay? Showing my titties was one of my favorite things to do because they were amazing and beautiful. So I'm like, well, we're just going with the lumpectomy, just a lumpectomy. So, you know, what every doctor said, I have 4 of them. I have an oncologist surgeon, a plastic surgeon, and don't know, he'll come to me in a minute, but there's 4 of them. So they say, well, you know, we can do so. So let's get back to here. We get to the point where they tell me I have cancer, I have lumpectomy. Before we get to that, the worst part of before is not knowing. From the time you learn there's something wrong, you know, that's not fun. But what is fun about that is contemplating your own death. We're all terminal. We all have the terminal illness of living. And taking time to contemplate your own death, I recommend highly. 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 It was one of the most liberating experiences I've ever had in my life. And I contemplate my own death regularly now in my life. I don't mean in a depressing, but contemplating the end of my life on this planet is good for me. Okay? The other bad thing is the MRI. Twice they told me this machine was designed by a woman. I hate to think what kind of contraption it would be had it not been. It was horrible. Laying in it was horrible. There's holes, your boobs sag through, it's horrible. There's a bar that sits right here on your diaphragm, and all they want you to do is breathe. And I can't, okay? And so you have to lay still and breathe in that thing for I don't know how long. And so it makes a loud noise in an MRI. But most MRIs I've been on my back. This one you're this way. Very unpleasant. That was not fun. Getting out of it was practically impossible. I'm 54, so a younger woman with breast cancer, God bless her, I could get in and out better. But I do think my age helped me in the decisions I needed to make. Because had I been a younger woman, though I love my breast, I haven't been taking my shirt off as often. It would have been a lot harder at 25 than it was at nearly 55. So, my heart goes out to young women facing this. So I'm going to get a lumpectomy. Well, all of a sudden, everybody I know has had breast cancer, And I'm starting, and people are, it's like you can't read fast enough. You can't get the information in time because they're scheduling the surgery. They want to know what you want to do. You're trying to, okay, I'm going to get a lumpectomy. I'm going to keep as much titties as I can keep. That's the goal. So it comes out that you get a lumpectomy. Well, it might come back. Might not get it all. You have to do radiation. You probably have to do chemotherapy. And you have to still have a mammogram every year, which I wasn't doing before anyway. Well, what if I just take the right one off? Well, we can take the right one off. We'll have some asymmetry here. You'll have to have a mammogram. Probably have to have radiation. Very likely chemotherapy. And a 20% chance that you get it this breast. So I went from, I'm just getting a lumpectomy, to fucking take the traitors. I'm not saying this is what other women should do. I'm not recommending this. I'm telling you, I wanted the traitors off my body. I had had a love affair with these babies, and they had turned on me.